Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to teach you how to fix your Top-O-Matic. There's a couple other models like this. The pure black one. They're all pretty much the same. The only difference that you might see is on the inside, right here, there'll be an adjustment. But we're not even going to play with this adjustment today. But I'm going to show you how to make this thing work like it was brand new. So yeah, we'll get started. You're going to need a couple things. You're going to need any kind of grease you can find. This is just some stuff from a Walmart. A couple sockets, a flathead screwdriver, and a thing of WD-40, and a Q-tip. A couple Q-tips. So we'll get started. Alright, so first I'm going to show you a couple of the problem areas and how you can identify them. Basically here you can see that the metal is wearing. Right here you can see the metal is wearing. As well as, I don't know if I can show you, right inside this track, if I move this out of the way, right inside that track you can see that there's some shine right there. That's wear. Now you're also going to get wear right inside here. You can see there's no gold left in there. So what we're going to do, generally you don't have to even touch this unless you're having an issue with it. I know the other one has like an adjustment bar or whatever, but we're just going to get this working good. Alright, so the very first thing that I like to take off is this handle here. So this is a 7mm, and you're just going to take that right off. If you're having trouble, there is a flathead in the top, and that'll hold the screw tight. So what you would do is hold it in the top like this with a flathead, and then you'll be able to take this screw out. Now the reason I take this one off is this thing makes a squeaking noise that is so annoying when you're using this machine. So this is your screw and your handle. So set that aside for now. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off this top part, but first you're going to have to keep the handle so you can hold this bolt. We're going to take this bolt out next, and that is a 14mm. So you're going to hold the handle like this, and then you might need a extension or a longer socket just so you don't run your knuckles on this metal. You don't want to get cut. Now this will be on here tight. Just loosen it up like that. We're going to set that aside. Now you could see all that wear on there. See that? That's all grinding. So this is what's making it hard to use. Same thing here. You can see all the wear on the metal here. So now you'll be able to pull your handle right out. And actually on this one you don't have to take this top part off, so just pull your handle right out and set that aside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the shaft out. So you're just going to grab a flathead, unscrew this, set it aside, just like that. Now there's a little tiny washer here. I don't know if you could see it, but there's like a little washer. Don't lose this washer. Get this washer. That's got to go between the plate and the plastic. So now to get this out, you're just gonna take a flathead, push it to the left, and you'll see it. It'll come right out. Now you can see on here, if I can focus, you'll see all this black wear on it. Now this is a good chance, or a good time too, if your teeth aren't very sharp, you could take a metal file and just drag it a few times down each tooth, and you can sharpen these up so it's like brand new again. Alright, so now we have most of it disassembled. This part here you can just leave in here. So now we're going to turn our attention to the actual part here. This is where a lot of the wear happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip it around, and you're going to see there's two brass bolts here. We're going to take those out. You may need to remove the handle, so that's these two screws here. It's a Phillips head. Let's see if I can get these out. These are in there tight. So you're going to need a little force to get these off. If you can only get one loose, you can turn it out of the way. Now we'll be able to get a socket on these bolts. So you don't need to take both of them out. You just need to get it loose. And these bolts are a 8mm. And we're going to take these right out. Now if they're not coming loose, what you're going to have to do is on the back side here, after you break them loose, you may need another socket, or a pair of pliers will work. You got to hold this side of the nut. So I'm just going to use pliers, or you can always use my uncle's favorite tool, a crescent wrench. You just get it on there like that, so that you're holding this side. And then you'll be able to remove this side. There we go. And then you'll be able to take this out. Now on the other side here, there's another one of these washers. So you don't lose them. Just put the washer back on the nut and then screw the nut back on. Alright, so now you'll be able to take this H bracket out, just like that. You'll also be able to take this out and clean it if you need to. Now remember the orientation of this. This clip is what pushes on this. So you got to make sure it's on this side so that it can push it. And then now you get a better look at all the wear. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grease everything up nice and reassemble. Alright, now for the reassembly, what you're going to need is a little bit of grease on a Q-tip. You're going to want to grease all the points. You don't need a lot, you're just trying to take the friction away. So what you're going to do is put this back in its right orientation here. Now put a little grease here, a little grease here. Now you're going to do the same thing for the plate. So the plate, what you'll do is you just put a little bit of grease right on the pegs. Now you can also grease a little bit here so it cuts down on the side friction as well. Now your first like 3 you roll, you're going to want to throw away because there is going to be a little bit of grease that is going to sneak by that you're going to have to throw away. But that's fine. The machine will work like brand new. So what we'll do, we'll just grease these both sides. So you're going to put them back in their little spots first on the plate. You may need to adjust the plate a little. There we go. Then you can slide it down. And then we're going to put these 2 bolts back in. There we go. Now you're going to put your 2 fingers on the bolts so that you can flip it. Now you're going to put your lock washers on. And then you're going to tighten these down just by hand for now. Now that'll hold the assembly together. So now what we'll do is the same thing. Grab your wrench your pliers or whatever you're using to hold the back bolt. And you're going to tighten up the front bolt. Now you don't want these crazy tight. You just want them tight enough. Just get them to where they're tight by hand and just snug them a little bit. Just enough to crush that lock washer. And then you're going to move this. Make sure you're good. So that's back reassembled. You can also, it's up to you. Sometimes I do. You could do this while it's off, but spray a little WD-40 on these hinges. Because these are riveted. They don't come apart. And then just kind of let it drip in there. And work its way in. You can see right there. You just want to get a little squirt. Not much. Like I said, this is gonna get a little greasy, but I'll show you how to clean it all up. It's pretty easy. So now this wear spot here, you're definitely gonna want to put some grease there. You can see how it wears. So you just want to put it on there a couple times. And work it in. There we go. Now, what we'll end up doing is we'll take a clean one. We're going to get rid of a lot of the extra when we're done. So now you have your pin here. Your shaft. You're going to put just a little bit of grease. Don't go into this chamber, but right where this metal stops, you're just going to wipe a little bit. You just want a tiny coating, not globbing. Just like that. And then you're going to take on the shaft here, and you're going to want to wipe just a tiny little coating, and then pretty much wipe it back off so it's like really thin, like that. And then we'll slide the pin back in through the side. Now you're going to take your handle and you can put some grease right inside here for the handle. That way, when you put your handle in there, it's nice and nice. Goes like this. So we'll put that right there, just like that. Now, like I said, this is the other wear point So we're going to put some grease here. Almost to the edge here, so you can kind of hold it flat. If you're having trouble, you can take this spring off, which that's what I'm going to do, honestly. So you set that up like that, so it's lined up with the plastic. You take the washer and put it on here first. This is your spacer. Then take your bolt, put it through here like that, and try to line it back up like that. And then make sure that this moves up and down. You have it in the right spot. And then just tighten it down. You don't want to go too crazy because it's screwing into plastic. And you're going to put your spring back through here. Make sure when you're doing this, this is slotted. You can see it's like a square. So is the thing. Make sure that it's in the slot and that this pin is in this channel before you put this nut in. And then we're just going to screw this nut down. Make sure you see these two teeth. They have to be flat up against this wall. So all I'm going to do is re-loosen this. We're going to take it off. And then hopefully, there we go. That's the orientation you want it. You want these flat up against the wall like that. And then we'll put this back on. Now the bolt, I don't know if I showed you. The bolt is shaped a certain way so that it fits inside of here and doesn't move. See how it doesn't move? So you're going to want to make sure that when you get it there, and actually what you should do, I mean, it's not really a wear point, but you can put a little bit of grease either on the bolt or on that part where it sits on there. All right. Now we'll just tighten that up. Make sure you hold your handle. And we'll test it. Everything seems to be working very nicely. You can bring your handle back over and line up the hole right here. And put the screw back through the handle. There we go. You can see both the screws are back in. Now, this thing, like I said, it squeaks a lot. So we're going to do the same thing, but a little different. We're going to take this and push grease through the center of this. Just like that. And then we'll put this back on. Now, make sure when you put it back on, the one is recessed. That's where you want the flathead, because it's going to fall inside like that. If it falls flat, flip it around, because that's, you want it the other way. Same thing. Get your flathead. You could do it off the table like this. I'll show you. Just kind of put it off the table, and then you could put your socket on the bolt and then screw the screw down. Now this you just want to snug. You don't want to go crazy tightening this. This is literally just holding the handle on. Just snug it just a little bit. Now also, if you don't like the noise of how that thing sounds, the rubbing, as you can see, this is like a wheel. You can grease here, and also right here you can see it rubs a lot. You can see the discoloration. So it's a simple fix. You're just going to put some grease right in here, and then for this one you're just going to put some grease right on here. Now when you use it, it's really smooth, real quiet. There's the release still working. I'll show you. Just to clean it up a little bit, what you're going to do, just get a Q-tip and just any excess grease you see lying around that isn't in a joint that you wanted, just grab, wipe it up. You know, if you did do the WD-40, you'll have some WD-40 up in here. Any remnants in here in this channel, just kind of clean this up a little bit. This is what it should look like when you're done. There shouldn't really see any grease at all, because it should be all in the joints where it needs to be. Except for, you know, if you put grease on this, you would see that. But and then as you use it, just take a Q-tip, clean this out like that, close it, wipe this off, open it, wipe it off, close it, wipe it off. Just do that quite a few times, and then, like I said, roll like 4 or 5 tubes and throw them away, because they will have some kind of grease on them. It's going to taste horrible.